All right, gentlemen and ladies, girls and boys, all ages of children. We're going to work on some division of fractions and whole numbers. First, I want to ask the following person, Allie, what is a unit fraction? A unit fraction. Layla, a unit fraction. Adam, a unit fraction.
Maybe one, whatever. One.
Okay, it has a 1 as the numerator. As we are dividing this year, when we're dividing with fractions, we're only dividing using unit fractions. So we're only dividing using unit fractions. Now, one of the things you may find helpful is if the first number's a whole number, your answer is a whole number. If the first number's a fraction, your answer is a fraction. When we're working with unit fractions and division. All right, so our first problem, we have 4 divided by 1/5. Now, I can make my number line 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there are my 4 wholes because that's what I'm starting with. And since, according to the Magna Carta, I can make my number line however I want. I could leave it like this. I could divide it into halves. I could make it into thirds. I can do whatever I want because I'm the boss. I'm going to use fifths because that's my denominator. And so if I went 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 5/5 equals 1. Oh, 1 1/5, 1 2/5, 1 3/5, 1 4/5, 1 5/5 equals 2. 2 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, 3/5, 4/5, 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. Now, you should be able to tell just by looking at this problem, this number line, what the problem was. Because we're starting with 4 and we're dividing it into fifths. And that's what my number line shows. But in order to find the answer, all I would have to do is count how many fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
I knew it.
So 4 divided by 1/5 is 20. That's just asking how many 1/5s are there in 20?
It's 4.
How many 1/5s are there in 20?
No.
So the answer would be 4. Oh, it'd be 15. No, I'm sorry. I'm telling you, I'm kerfuffled today. How many 1/5s are in 4? And the answer is 15. Goodness sakes, if you're taking notes, erase what I said a minute ago. Another way you could see this is you could see pictures. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, where it's divided into fifths, which I'm not going to do very well.
I can do it.
2, 3, 4, 5. And it'd be divided into fifths. Each one of them would be divided into fifths. You could do it if you had 4 of these, but we could figure out how many fifths are in 1. Once we know how many fifths are in 1, we could figure out how many fifths are in 4. We could do it like that. In 1, there are 5 fifths, so in 4, there must be 20 fifths. Is that right? 20 fifths?
Yeah,
Okay, 20.
4 times 5.
Okay, 20. All right, so our answer is a whole number. We started, and this works because we're using unit fractions. We started with the whole number, 20. 20, okay. And our answer would be a whole number. The next problem, we start with a fraction. And we're starting with the fraction 1/3.
Third.
1/3. So let's say I've got 1/3 of a candy bar. And I'm splitting that between two people. A couple ways I could do it is now I have 1/3 of a candy bar and I need to split it between two people. 1/3 divided by is 1/6. Because each person, and if the question is, how much does each person get? Each person would get 1/6. You may see a picture where they take the 1/3 and they divide it in half. And so one person gets this one. So how much do they get? What fraction of the candy bar do they get?
1/6.
1/6. Now sometimes they're going to try and fool you here and only divide it like this and not show you how it's divided the whole way through. So you don't want to fall for that. You don't want to fall for that. So 1/3 divided by 2 is 1/6. A lot of you are noticing just a easy way to do it just by looking at the problem. I know, and that's okay, people. That's okay. Now let's do another one of our adding, because adding and subtracting are much more difficult than multiplying and dividing with fractions. We cannot add these fractions together. Why, Caitlin? They have a different denominator. So I'd want to find my least common denominator of 8 and 6. Now remember, you get stuck, you have these videos. You have access to these videos. If we are to take a test on Friday and you get stuck, go back and refer to a video. And so we go 8, 16, 24. We're just listing the multiples. 12, 18, 24. And we find that our common denominator is 24. So we change both of these fractions without changing the value so that they have a denominator of 24. But we don't want to change the value. So whatever we multiply, we got to multiply both numerator and denominator by that. So what do we multiply by 8 to get 24? 3. If I multiply my denominator by 3, I must also multiply my numerator by 3. And 5 times 3 is? 15. And my new numerator. What do I multiply by 6 to get 24? 4. If I multiply my denominator by 4, I must also multiply my numerator by 4. And my new numerator is? 4. 15 24ths. I always go back and check my sign. Plus 4 24ths equals?
19
24ths. Now I always want to check. And see if I can simplify it. What kind of number is 19? Prime. So it only has 1 in 19. What kind of number is 24? So it has 1 in 24, 2 in 12, 3 in 8, 4 and 6. The greatest common factor is?
1.
If the greatest common factor is 1, that fraction is in simplest form. It is reduced. It is simplified, however they word it in that case. Yes, ma'am. Never mind. Boom, shakalaka, peace out. God bless. Love you. Do something kind today. Say it to beast. Please subscribe.